Hello and welcome back to the TomFM channel and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode. Judging from the comment section on yesterday's episode, you guys are really enjoying the fact that we've moved to Spain. You guys like the players that we've brought into the club. It just seems to be really well received yesterday. So massive appreciation and my thanks to you for that, because whenever I do big things like this, I do worry that it's just not going to be very well received and people won't like it. But it seems to have gone down pretty well. So a big thank you to everyone for that. Thanks to all the likes as well and the new subscribers as well to the channel. Hugely appreciate that as we push to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you could all subscribe today as well and all drop a like on the video today as well, hugely appreciated as well. Right, jumping into today's episode then, there's a lot to talk about because a lot has happened since you guys were last here. But I think first and foremost, we need to talk about the title of the video and why the Chipolinas might hate me now. So for this season, for this division, the registration rules are pretty strict. We can only have 20 outfield players in the squad over the age of 23. Is it? No, only 16 over 20. Basically, I think if they're under 19, they don't need to be registered, essentially. If they're under 19, they're fine. If they're over 19, they have to be registered, but only 20 outfield players. Basically, what it means is someone's had to miss out on the squad, and that person ended up being Roy Chipolina. Roy is far and away the worst player in the squad in terms of current ability. 1.5 stars of that current ability. He's 38 years old as well. He's getting on a bit. He doesn't offer an awful lot to us. So he was the man to miss out. Unfortunately, he was the man to miss out and we didn't pick him for the squad. Turns out he was not very happy with that. As you can see here, he has wanted to transfer list himself. And actually, I think since then, he is on the transfer list by request. So he's on there now. And if he's unhappy with me, that makes all the Chipolinas unhappy with me, I think. So we've got our hero, Joseph Chipolina. He might not like me anymore, which I'm very concerned about. And I'm very concerned of a Chipolina breakaway group where they just take a big chunk of our squad, because there's 4 of them in the first team. They'll just take them and make their own club or something like that. So a little bit concerned about that. Hopefully we don't take all our fans though, because that would be very annoying. We've got 242 season ticket holders this season, and those 242 season ticket holders have been in for a real treat since you guys were here last episode. As you can see, last episode we won 3-2 with Kike's hat-trick. Since then, we've won 3, drawn 1, lost 1, which has been a fantastic start to life in Spain. We after that game against UCAM Murcia, who are apparently a Catholic university, we had a 2-0 win over AD Merida with Anthony Hernandez and Kike on the score sheet. Hernandez got another goal in the next game in a 1-0 victory over Tenerife B. We then had another game against the B team, Malaga B, our first loss of the season, and it wasn't my fault, although it kind of is. The Malaga game happened over international break, but because we are the 4th tier of Spanish football, not many international players play in this division, so we don't get an automatic international break. We were told that 8 players would be out of the team for this game because of international break playing for Gibraltar, and I thought 8 players, not all of them are in the first team. I'm more than happy to rotate the team and play a different team against Malaga. Good for squad rotation. So I said, yes, it's fine. Let's play the game. Annoyingly, just after that, everyone else went on international duty. 22 players on international duty for that Malaga game. And when it came to the actual game, we were missing basically half our first team. We were quite lucky in the fact that players like Shitigel, Schneider, Yaya, Dobrievic and Martel Taylor-Crosdale didn't play international football. So we had those guys, but the rest of the squad was sort of made up by under 19 players and things like that. Annoyingly as well, the B team, because they play in Gibraltar, they basically can't be registered to play for us as well because they have to go through international laws, and not laws, but you know what I'm trying to say. They can't play for us in the same season. So if we want to send players to the B team to play in the B team, we've got to commit to send them there for an entire season, which actually is a little bit frustrating, but we can work around it, it's fine. So in the end, as you can see, we lost the game 1-0, which was actually pretty decent considering every goalkeeper we have was on international duty. We had to field one of those greyed out goalkeepers, this David, we can't even click on his name, David Navarro, he doesn't exist anymore, he was just there for that one game, missed a penalty, or didn't save a penalty, and to top things off, Yaya got sent off as well, which wasn't ideal. Yaya then missed the game against Granada B as we drew 2-2 in that game. Randy Schneider got his first goal for the club alongside Kike getting his 5th goal for the club at that stage, and then he got his 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th goal of the season in a 4-1 win over E02. So Kike is on form, he's on fire, and he has got 9 goals in 5 league appearances, and we need to be careful because every single player in Spain contractually has to have a minimum fee release clause, and his minimum fee release clause is £425,000, and at the rate he's scoring, I feel like he's worth more than that. So we might have to offer him a new contract with a bigger minimum fee release clause. Speaking of minimum fee release clauses as well, I was getting very nervous on deadline day because our young goalkeeper who came through the youth intake, Jason Fraser, had bids coming for him from Real Betis, Villarreal, Levante, Getafe and Eibar, and his minimum fee release clause at the time was only £50,000. So very quickly, I offered him a new contract and forced him to have a minimum fee release clause of £5 million. So that's good. If we do end up selling him, we'll get a big chunk of money for him, which is very, very nice. But I think we're going to have to try and get a few more minimum fee release clauses sorted out for some of the other young players. Anyway, focusing back on goalkeeper Jason Fraser, he was one of the 4 players that came through the youth intake, and those 4 players were up for grabs on the Patreon. As expected, those 4 players were taken by people on the Patreon. So just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's obviously contributed on the Patreon, and just to go through the name changes very quickly. Jason Fraser is no longer going to be called Jason Fraser, he will now be known as Anthony Ward. So thank you, Anthony, for your contributions. The centre mid-man Kevin Ward has been taken by Asilesen, and Asilesen wants to call his man Scipio, which I think is a pretty cool name. The only other Scipio I know is the old Roman general who took on Carthage and won. So if we ever play a North African side, we know who to play to get all the tactics right, because Scipio will know what he's doing. Although hopefully less brutally than back in the Roman times, I would say, just in football terms. Think back to around the block. Do you remember a winger called O'Nino? Well, you should do, because he was class. This is now going to be O'Nino Jr. Lewis Kirby, the striker, no longer called that. O'Nino Jr. is up next. And finally, next up is Jamie Coombs. Not this Jamie Coombs, the Jamie Coombs on the Patreon. Just quite funny that we've got 2 guys. I don't think they're the same person. From what I can tell, they're not the same person. But Jamie Coombs has chosen Archie Lister to be his Patreon player, and he has chosen to call him Raul Jr. after, of course, the famous Spanish striker Raul. The best bit about this is we've now got 2 very young strikers with Junior in their name, so I'm a big fan of that. So thank you very much to everyone on the Patreon, massively appreciate that. If you want to get involved with it and get involved in future youth intakes, link down to the Patreon below. And whilst we're talking about it too, big up to the latest Patreon member, Ryan Ward. Thank you very much for your contributions, massively appreciate that. You love to see it. So as we head into the game, I think that's everything that I need to talk about. So this is the lineup that we're going to go for this first game of today's episode against Real Murcia. There's actually quite a few Murcias in this division. Also, here's the table. Forgot to show you that, by the way. We're doing quite well. We're 5th in the table right now. But there's Real Murcia, there's UCAM Murcia, there's R Murcia, who I presume is just a brand new team, which is why they've got a weird name and no logo as well. Okay, only those 3 teams, but there's 3 Murcias. Not sure how we'll differentiate between them all, because I'm getting confused with them now, but just know there's 3 of them. So the lineup for this game is Anthony Ward in goal with a backline of Brito, Lopez, Dobrievic, Wiseman, Yaya, Schtigel and Schneider through the middle, Chipolina on the left, Debar on the right because Hernandez is injured, and Kike leads the line. So as kickoff is upon us here today, very quickly, I want to talk to you about our formation. Now, we've had a great start to the season with 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. It's been fantastic. But I don't think we're getting the most out of the players using the formation we've got. Essentially, we've only got 3 wingers in the entire squad. We've got, obviously, Joseph Chipolina, we've got Hernandez, and we've got Debar, as we've just nearly conceded a goal there. They're the only 3 wingers we've got, and they're not that great in those positions, I must say. Chipolina is more of a right back, or left back, I should say, so if we did switch formation, he might go there, as we've just been gifted a goal. Kike gets his 10th of the season. Wiseman puts a really deep cross into the area, and the keeper fumbles it, and it just falls into the path of Kike, which is fantastic. I mean, what the keeper's doing there, I don't know, but Kike is going to score that every single day of the week. Going back to what I was saying about formations, though, I think it's a good idea to get rid of the wingers and make it a 4-4-2 diamond instead. We've got 4 really good strikers in Kike, Martel, Taylor Crosdale, Raul Jr. and Onino Jr. Right now, only one of them can play at a time. I'd quite like to have 2 of them playing at a time as well, which would be great to see as we've just conceded a goal, which is obviously not so nice. In this version of the game, Randy Schneider is actually more of an attacking midfielder than a centre midfielder, so it makes sense for him to play in the attacking midfield as well. It frees up a slot in the centre of midfield for someone like Scipio or someone like Michael Chipolina. So I think moving to a diamond just suits our squad better. Obviously, you may think I am absolutely mad for wanting to change formation from basically a winning formation to something completely untested, but I think for the long-term sustainability of the club, development of the players, it's the better option to go for right now, as Chipolina is giving me more reasons not to play him. I love the man. I adore the man. Obviously, you know that. Chipolina, but I don't know. This argument with Roy Chipolina is getting to me, and I'm worried that he's going to leave me. Basically, I'm kind of like that, you know, really loving person in the relationship, and then something bad happens, the other person does something bad, and then you want to stay with them because you love them, but you're ridiculously paranoid about everything they do. That's kind of what I'm like at the moment with Joseph Chipolina. In fact, we could give it a go right now, couldn't we? We could give it a go right now. Chipolina get there, Kike get there, DeBar get there. Let's bring Taylor Crosdale on as a pressing forward instead on support. Randy, you go there. Michael Chipolina, you come on for Joseph Chipolina. And then Scott Wiseman's very, very tired as well, so Jesus, come on the pitch for him instead. If we score a goal in the next 15 minutes, then it's guaranteed that we're going to switch to a diamond at some point in the next few episodes or so. If we concede, maybe I rethink it. If we draw, then I'll probably still change anyway, I would imagine. Right now, though, Masia are looking to come forward to try and grab the winner in this game. Domingo gets it into his centre-mid partnership player. We miss a header at the back there. Anthony Ward is on form to collect that. You love to see it. And with 10 minutes left to go in this game, Murcia are still coming forward. Anthony Ward pulling off another incredible save there. You love to see it. Goal kick for us as Anthony Ward gets it into Dobrievic, who plays it to Lopez, up towards Kike, into Shitty Some nice tiki-taka going on right now as Michael Chipolina plays it over to Kike, into Brito. Brito to swing one. Did that get blocked? I hope it did. It was a terrible, terrible ball, or maybe it was just a stroke of genius as the ball gets put forward to Kike to score his 11th goal of the season. It was blocked in the end, as you can see. Not quite a stroke of genius, but Yaya's ball forward was a great one to Kike. Big suspicion of offside there, I must say. There's been quite a few times where I've been thinking this might be offside. Can we watch this? It's going to show us now, isn't it? Hang on a second. I've just missed that. I'll freeze it on the actual editing, but I swear he is behind that line. I swear he's behind the line. I think this is offside. I really think this is offside, if I'm honest with you. Not that I'm going to complain, though, because we have just picked up a... not quite yet. We're about to pick up a 2-1 win, as we can't score a third goal. Please don't get an equaliser right now. Oh, they're going to do it, aren't they? They're going to do it. Oh, they've hit the post. You love to see it. So there we go, a 2-1 victory over Murcia, and I think the new formation will look to do from next episode onwards. I do it now, but I want to tweak things and test things before we actually get down to doing it in an episode. But that win takes us up to third in the table, 16 points on the board. We are flying high right now, doing much better than we should be doing. If we can just try and stay up here all season, I'll be very happy. Next up, it's Linares Deportivo, who are 8th in the table right now. Hopefully another nice victory in that game. Looks like there's international break just after that, so I presume I'll have the option to call a game off again in a moment's time. And I'm not going to fall for it again. I will definitely be postponing any game over international break. I do not want to be in that same issue where I'm not got a team to pick. It's come through. See, it says here 6 players. 6 players will miss the game. Well, I'm going to postpone it anyway because look at this next message. 19 players called up. That's what I missed last time, basically. I couldn't read, that was the issue. So I'm going to keep the starting lineup the same for this game, but I'm tempted to maybe swap it to the 4-4-2 diamond again, like 60 minutes in or so, just to see how it does. So as kickoff is upon us for the second time in today's episode. The second away game as well. Both games today are away. So if we can get big wins away from home, that is also huge for us too. Early corner for us as Randy Schneider floats one into the middle. But it gets brought back out to him as DeBar on the ball, back to Schneider. Schneider can't quite get it to its intended target as Deportivo, or Linares Deportivo, whatever they're called, look to come forward down the right-hand side of the pitch. Shitty trying to get in on the action there, can't get the challenge in, and it's Rodri who puts a great ball forward, and Anthony Ward just keeps making incredible saves. I must say, I think part of the reason we are doing so well is because Anthony Ward is just a bit of a hero, basically, making worldy saves constantly. So we are very, very lucky to have him at the school. What am I on about? The squad. I was trying to say squad, but then school came into my head, and then it just came out as that bit of a weird screw. But we are struggling to assert ourselves in this game. Only 2 shots in this first half from us, which is very disappointing. I'm going to thrash my arms around, and I'm far from pleased from what I've just seen from this team. DeBar on the ball right at the start of this second half for us, though. Hopefully the thrashing the arms around has worked wonders with the team as they score a goal inside of 30 seconds of the second half or something like that. And actually, we might do it or not. Yaya on the ball for us then as he gets it out to Joseph Chipolina, who just gives the ball away and is just giving me more and more reasons to switch to a diamond and stop playing him as we now give away a penalty. Not ideal. The commentary at the bottom said it didn't look like a foul. Anthony Ward, this is your time to shine again. He can't quite save this one. He can't save all of them. 1-0 to Deportivo. And this may have given Deportivo a bit of a second wind in the second half because they are coming forward again and looking pretty strong. I mean, Hugo Diaz is through again, and Hugo Diaz has literally just doubled his tally inside about 2 minutes or so. I must say, it's the first time this season where I feel like we've looked pretty outplayed. So maybe the winger formation is starting to show its self is not a great formation. I don't know. We're going to make the same changes as last time. Martel Taylor-Crossdale coming on as a pressing forward. Schneider into the attacking midfield position. Michael Chipolina comes on there. But there's only 2 changes we'll make for now. We're going to go a bit more attacking. We're going to say demand more to the boys out there as well. I guess we've got nothing to lose at this stage, have we, I suppose? We're 2-0 down. We may as well try something to score a couple more goals in this game. As Kike on the ball wins it quite nicely into Randy Schneider, into Chipolina, Taylor-Crossdale, into Shitty into Schneider, into Kike, who makes an incredible run and gets his 3rd of today's episode and his 12th of this. Kike is my new hero, all right? You know, Joseph Chipolina. What's that meme where it's like, friendship ended with Joseph Chipolina. Kike is my new best friend. Unfortunately, though, it might not be enough. With 10 minutes to go, I'm going to say fire up to the boys. If we can grab a draw out of this game, that would be incredible. But I think we've just left it a little too late. Or have we? As Dobrievic on the ball, forward towards Taylor-Crossdale, who can't win it. And it's actually Deportivo coming back towards us. Can we get the challenge in there? No, we concede instead. We've lost this one. Oh well, doesn't matter too much. We always are going to lose games at some point, and I guess we can try and learn some lessons from losing a game like this. Next episode then, let's try and get through to the end of November. We'll do JN, and then we might just actually do all the Messiahs, because we've done, obviously, Real Messiah today. We did UCAM Messiah yesterday. Let's do our Messiah tomorrow. That makes sense to me. Let's get all of them out of the way, and we can see which Messiah is the best one. Also need to work out where Messiah is and how big it has to be to have 3 clubs in this division from that area. But if you're still watching at the moment, thank you very much. Massively appreciate that. And thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have done, drop a like on the video for me. That would hugely help me out. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And as ever, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Goodbye.